D.O.G.E Initiative, a groundbreaking $100 million project aiming to reshape American governance. Introduction. On January 20, 2025, President Trump introduced the Department of Government Efficiency D.O.G.E Initiative, a sweeping reform aimed at overhauling federal spending and improving governmental operations. This $100 million project, led by billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk, seeks to streamline federal expenditures, particularly targeting programs deemed superfluous or misaligned with Trump's administration, such as diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI initiatives. As the initiative unfolds, it has sparked considerable debate regarding its implications for governance, data privacy, and potential conflicts of interest. Launch and objectives. The D.O.G.E Initiative was established through an executive order that restructured the U.S. digital service within the Office of Management and Budget (OMB). The goal is clear: to enhance efficiency in federal spending and to cut wasteful expenditures. The initiative aims to achieve a substantial reduction in federal spending, with Musk expressing aspirations to save $500 billion annually, approximately 7% of the federal budget. By early February 2025, the D.O.G.E team reported savings of over $1 billion, primarily achieved by canceling DEI contracts and other expenditures that align with Trump's political priorities. Musk's public statements emphasize a commitment to eradicating waste and fraud, positioning D.O.G.E as a crucial instrument in combating government inefficiencies. Access to sensitive data. A significant aspect of the D.O.G.E initiative is its access to the Treasury Department's payment systems, which has raised alarms about data security and potential misuse of sensitive taxpayer information. Critics, including Democratic lawmakers and consumer advocacy groups, have voiced concerns that Musk could leverage this access for personal or corporate gain, given his extensive ties to government contracts through companies like SpaceX. Legal experts have warned that Musk's access to comprehensive government data poses risks of data breaches and misuse. A lawsuit filed by two unions and an advocacy group for seniors alleges that D.O.G.E's data access violates privacy regulations, highlighting the potential dangers of allowing a private individual to handle sensitive taxpayer information. Policy implications. D.O.G.E aims to implement significant changes across various federal agencies, including the Social Security Administration and the U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID). The initiative has already terminated contracts associated with programs like the D.O.G.E Initiative marker, claiming substantial savings. Additionally, there are efforts to curb foreign aid through USAID, which D.O.G.E officials view as unnecessary spending. However, the implications of these changes are complex. Critics argue that cutting funding from vital programs could adversely affect millions of Americans, particularly those reliant on services like Social Security and Medicare. While the D.O.G.E initiative seeks to reduce spending, experts warn that such drastic cuts could lead to significant societal repercussions, particularly as a majority of federal spending is allocated to essential services. Political and public response. The D.O.G.E initiative has polarizing effects on public opinion and political discourse. Supporters laud its efficiency measures, arguing that it is necessary to rein in excessive government spending, especially as the national debt continues to rise. Conversely, critics assert that the initiative undermines essential services and raises ethical questions about Musk's dual role as a government advisor and private business owner. As Trump campaigns for the 2024 presidential election, the D.O.G.E initiative serves as a cornerstone of his administrative agenda, reflecting broader strategies aimed at reshaping government operations to align with his political vision. Legal challenges and ongoing controversies. The initiative's rollout has not been without legal challenges. Various lawsuits have emerged, questioning the legality of D.O.G.E's access to sensitive data and the potential implications of such access. A federal judge is set to consider restricting D.O.G.E's access to Labor Department systems amid allegations that this access could compromise sensitive information about federal employees and companies competing with Musk's businesses. Furthermore, concerns have been raised about the ethical aspects of granting Musk, a billionaire with vested interests in multiple sectors, extensive access to government data and operations. Critics argue that such access creates an inherent conflict of interest whereby Musk could exploit information for the benefit of his businesses. Conclusion: the D.O.G.E Initiative represents a significant shift in American governance, focusing on efficiency and cost-cutting while igniting debates surrounding privacy ethics and the future of federal spending. As this initiative progresses, it will shape not only the Trump administration but also the broader landscape of American governance. The ongoing controversies and legal challenges surrounding D.O.G.E highlight the complexities of balancing efficiency with ethical governance and the safeguarding of citizens' rights and data privacy. In summary, the D.O.G.E initiative is emblematic of the tensions inherent in modern governance, where the push for efficiency must be carefully weighed against the need for transparency, accountability, and protection of individual rights. As the initiative unfolds, it will be critical to monitor its implications for the federal landscape and the broader societal consequences of its implementation. The D.O.G.E initiative represents a significant transformation in how the U.S. government approaches efficiency in spending, particularly under the direction of Elon Musk and President Trump. The initiative, which seeks to cut federal expenditures dramatically, has generated a polarized response from the public and lawmakers. One counterintuitive aspect of the D.O.G.E initiative is the juxtaposition of its ambitious cost-cutting goals with the potential risks associated with Musk's access to sensitive government data. While supporters argue that reducing wasteful spending is essential for fiscal responsibility, critics warn that the initiative's approach could lead to significant ethical and security issues. Musk's role as a special government employee means he is not required to file public financial disclosures, raising concerns about potential conflicts of interest, especially given his extensive ties to government contracts through his companies. Additionally, while the initiative claims to have saved over $1 billion by eliminating contracts related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, there are fears that such cuts could undermine essential services, particularly in areas like Social Security and foreign aid. The fact that 2/3 of government spending is directed toward programs like Social Security and Medicare complicates the narrative, as deep cuts to these areas could have dire consequences for vulnerable populations. Moreover, the initiative's access to Treasury Department payment systems, which manage sensitive financial data, has been framed as a measure to improve efficiency. However, this access has sparked significant backlash over privacy concerns and the potential for data misuse. Critics argue that granting Musk and his team access to taxpayer information may lead to a loss of trust in government institutions, as the scale of the data involved is unprecedented. In summary, the D.O.G.E initiative's focus on efficiency is met with skepticism about the potential for ethical breaches and privacy violations. The ambitious cost-saving measures may come at the expense of critical government services, illustrating the complex interplay between fiscal responsibility and governance ethics in contemporary American policy. The D.O.G.E initiative, established by President Trump and led by Elon Musk, is a significant development in American governance that aims to overhaul federal spending and improve government operations. While much of the media attention has focused on its controversial nature, there are several crucial aspects that many may overlook, which are of great significance to the future of governance and privacy in the United States. 1. Access to sensitive data. One of the most alarming components of the D.O.G.E initiative is Musk's access to sensitive taxpayer data through the Treasury Department's payment systems. This access raises serious questions about data security, privacy, and the potential for misuse. Critics have pointed out that allowing an individual with extensive business interests in government contracts to oversee taxpayer information creates a conflict of interest that could lead to exploitation or unethical behavior. The significance of this cannot be overstated. The implications for individual privacy are profound, given that the Bureau of the Fiscal Service processes payments such as Social Security tax refunds and federal salaries. The potential for data breaches or misuse of personal information poses a risk not only to individual privacy but also to national security. If Musk or any individual with similar access were to mishandle this information, it could lead to severe consequences for millions of Americans. 2. Legal challenges and privacy regulations. The initiative has already faced multiple legal challenges, particularly concerning its access to taxpayer data. One notable lawsuit involves unions and advocacy groups arguing that the D.O.G.E initiative violates privacy regulations. This legal scrutiny is significant because it highlights the conflicting priorities between efficiency in government spending and the protection of individual rights. Legal experts warned that the implications of these lawsuits could extend far beyond the D.O.G.E initiative itself. If the courts determine that the access granted to Musk and his team is unlawful, it could set a precedent that challenges the future operations of similar initiatives that seek to streamline government functions at the expense of privacy. This ongoing legal battle is critical as it underscores the need for clear regulations around data access and the accountability of individuals in positions of power. 3. Impact on federal programs and services. The D.O.G.E initiatives focus on cutting federal spending, particularly in areas like diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI programs raises significant ethical considerations. While proponents argue that eliminating these programs is a necessary step toward reducing wasteful spending, critics contend that these initiatives are vital for promoting equality and addressing systemic disparities in government services. The significance of this debate lies in the potential long-term impacts on federal programs that serve vulnerable populations. By prioritizing cost-cutting over inclusivity, the D.O.G.E initiative may inadvertently undermine progress made in promoting social justice. This could lead to a systemic rollback of services that many marginalized communities rely on, further entrenching inequalities in society. 4. Political ramifications and governance structure. The D.O.G.E initiative's alignment with Trump's political agenda raises questions about the politicization of government efficiency efforts. By positioning the initiative as a centerpiece of Trump's campaign for the 2024 presidential election, it signals a shift in how governance is approached in the U.S. The intertwining of political motives with administrative functions could lead to a governance structure that prioritizes partisan interests over the needs of the public. This is significant because it reflects a broader trend in American politics where governance is increasingly viewed through a partisan lens. If initiatives like D.O.G.E become the norm, we may see a further erosion of nonpartisan governance principles, leading to a political landscape where efficiency measures are used as tools for political gain rather than genuine improvements in government operations. 5. Conflict of interest concerns. Musk's dual role as a government advisor and a private business owner raises serious conflict of interest concerns. With his companies such as SpaceX and Tesla being major players in sectors that rely on government contracts, there is a risk that decisions made under the D.O.G.E initiative could favor Musk's business interests over the public good. This situation is significant because it challenges the integrity of government operations. If public resources are directed to benefit private entities, it undermines public trust in government institutions. The perception that government efficiency initiatives are merely fronts for corporate interests could lead to widespread disillusionment with governance and erode the foundational principles of democracy. 6. Public response and polarization. The polarized reactions to the D.O.G.E initiative reflect broader societal divisions regarding government spending and efficiency. Supporters view it as a necessary reform while opponents fear it threatens essential government services and privacy rights. This polarization is significant as it reveals deep-seated ideological divides in American society regarding the role of government in citizens' lives. The implications of this divide are far-reaching. If citizens are unable to find common ground on fundamental aspects of governance, it could lead to a paralyzed political system where meaningful reforms are stymied by partisan gridlock. This situation could result in the inability to address critical issues such as healthcare, education, and social welfare that require bipartisan cooperation. Conclusion: the D.O.G.E Initiative, with its ambitious goals and controversial methods, represents a fundamental shift in American governance. While the focus has largely been on its immediate implications for federal spending and efficiency, the overlooked aspects, such as data privacy concerns, legal challenges, impacts on social equity, political ramifications, conflicts of interest, and public polarization, hold significant weight in shaping the future landscape of governance in the United States. As this initiative unfolds, it is essential for citizens, lawmakers, and advocacy groups to critically engage with these issues, ensuring that the principles of democracy, accountability, and public service are upheld in the face of sweeping changes. Failure to address these significant concerns could lead to a governance model that prioritizes efficiency over equity, potentially undermining the very foundation of American democracy. 1. Efficiency versus risk in federal spending. The D.O.G.E Initiative, spearheaded by Elon Musk, aims to streamline federal spending by cutting contracts deemed wasteful, particularly those associated with diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI). While proponents argue that these cuts are necessary to rein in government waste and reduce the federal budget, critics highlight significant risks, particularly concerning data security and ethical governance. The initiative's ambitious goal of saving $500 billion annually raises questions about the potential consequences of deep spending cuts, especially given that a substantial portion of federal expenditures supports essential programs like Social Security and Medicare. The balance between achieving efficiency and managing the associated risks represents a critical point of discussion. 2. Conflicts of interest and access to sensitive data. A major concern surrounding the D.O.G.E initiative is the potential conflict of interest arising from Musk's dual roles as a government advisor and a private business owner. His companies such as SpaceX and Tesla have extensive government contracts, raising alarms about the misuse of sensitive taxpayer information for personal gain. The initiative's access to the Treasury Department's payment systems, which include sensitive personal data of millions of Americans, has led to legal challenges and accusations of privacy violations. This situation underscores the urgent need for stringent safeguards to prevent any potential misuse of government data and to maintain public trust in governance. 3. Legal challenges and implications for governance. The D.O.G.E initiative has faced multiple lawsuits, with critics arguing that its access to taxpayer data violates privacy regulations. Legal experts warn that Musk's access to comprehensive government data could lead to significant risks, including data breaches and misuse. The ongoing legal battles highlight the tension between innovative governance approaches and the established legal frameworks designed to protect citizens' rights. The outcomes of these lawsuits could set critical precedents for future initiatives involving public-private partnerships, data access, and government accountability. 4. Political polarization and public perception. The D.O.G.E initiative has become a polarizing topic in American politics, with stark divides between supporters and detractors. Advocates argue that the initiative is a necessary step toward a more efficient government, while critics assert that it undermines essential services and could have detrimental effects on vulnerable populations. The political implications of D.O.G.E are intertwined with Trump's campaign for the 2024 presidential election, positioning it as a key element of his administrative agenda. This polarization raises important questions about the role of public perception in shaping government initiatives and the potential long-term impacts on American governance as the political landscape evolves. 1. The New Deal 1933 to 1939. Initiated by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in response to the Great Depression, the New Deal was a series of programs, public work projects, and financial reforms aimed at revitalizing the American economy. Much like the D.O.G.E initiative's focus on efficiency and spending cuts, the New Deal sought to reshape government intervention in the economy. It introduced numerous agencies such as the Works Progress Administration (WPA) and the Civilian Conservation Corps (CCC), aimed at reducing unemployment and stimulating economic activity. However, it also faced significant criticism and legal challenges from various political factions, reflecting the contentious nature of large-scale government initiatives. 2. Welfare Reform Act 1996. Under President Bill Clinton, this initiative aimed to overhaul the welfare system in the United States, emphasizing work and personal responsibility. The Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act replaced the Aid to Families with Dependent Children (AFDC) program with Temporary Assistance for Needy Families (TANF). Similar to the D.O.G.E Initiative's efforts to cut funding for initiatives deemed wasteful, this reform sought to reduce federal spending on welfare and introduce stricter conditions for receiving assistance. While it achieved some reductions in welfare rolls, it also sparked debates about the adequacy of support for vulnerable populations and the potential for negative impacts on families. 3. The Patriot Act 2001, enacted in the wake of the September 11 attacks. The USA Patriot Act aimed to enhance law enforcement's ability to prevent terrorism. This legislation expanded government surveillance capabilities and access to personal data, reminiscent of the D.O.G.E Initiative's controversial access to taxpayer information. While proponents argued that it was essential for national security, critics raised concerns about civil liberties and privacy violations. The tensions surrounding the Patriot Act highlight the delicate balance between government efficiency and the protection of individual rights, a theme also apparent in the discussions around the D.O.G.E Initiative's implications for data security and governance. Future outlook, predictions for the D.O.G.E Initiative. The D.O.G.E Initiative, launched in early 2025 under President Trump's administration and spearheaded by Elon Musk, represents a significant shift in the approach to U.S. governance, particularly in terms of federal spending and efficiency. As this controversial initiative unfolds, several predictions can be made about its future trajectory and implications for American governance. 1. Continued legal challenges and regulatory scrutiny. The D.O.G.E Initiative is likely to face ongoing legal challenges and increased scrutiny from regulatory bodies. Lawsuits regarding data privacy and misuse of taxpayer information are expected to escalate, potentially leading to court rulings that could either curtail D.O.G.E's access to sensitive data or impose stricter regulations on how such data can be used, especially as the 2024 election approaches. 3. Technological innovation versus ethical concerns. The D.O.G.E Initiative aims to incorporate advanced technology to improve government efficiency. However, the reliance on private sector innovation, particularly from individuals like Musk, raises ethical concerns regarding transparency and accountability. The future will likely see a tug-of-war between technological advancement and the ethical implications of data access and usage. Policymakers may need to establish clearer guidelines for the integration of technology in government processes to address these concerns effectively. 4. Polarization of public opinion. As the D.O.G.E Initiative progresses, public opinion is expected to become increasingly polarized. Supporters may view it as a necessary reform to combat government inefficiency and waste, while detractors could frame it as an attack on essential social services and a threat to democratic governance. This polarization could manifest in heightened political activism, influencing midterm elections and shaping future legislative agendas. 5. Potential repercussions for future governance models. The D.O.G.E Initiative may serve as a template for future governance models that prioritize efficiency and private sector involvement. If successful, it could inspire similar initiatives in other states or at the federal level, leading to a broader trend of privatization and outsourcing in government operations. Conversely, if it leads to significant negative consequences, it could deter future efforts to incorporate private sector practices into public governance. 6. International implications and relations. The D.O.G.E Initiative's focus on reducing foreign aid through USAID could have significant implications for U.S. international relations. Critics argue that cutting aid could undermine U.S. influence globally, particularly in regions where humanitarian assistance is crucial. The future might see shifts in diplomatic relations. with other countries responding to the US's withdrawal of support in various areas. This could lead to a re-evaluation of US foreign policy strategies. 7. Data security and privacy concerns. The access to sensitive taxpayer data by the D.O.G.E Initiative raises significant concerns regarding data security and the potential for misuse. As the initiative progresses, there may be calls for stricter data protection laws and oversight mechanisms to safeguard citizens' information. The future will likely see debates over the balance between government efficiency and individual privacy rights, possibly leading to new legislation aimed at enhancing data security protocols. 8. Shift in federal workforce dynamics. The D.O.G.E initiatives aimed to reduce the federal workforce may lead to significant shifts in employment dynamics within government agencies. This could result in increased job insecurity for federal employees and a potential brain drain as experienced personnel depart. Conversely, there may be opportunities for reskilling and upskilling in technology and efficiency-related roles. The long-term effects on federal employment and morale will be critical in shaping the workforce of the future. Conclusion. The future of the D.O.G.E initiative is fraught with both opportunities and challenges. As it seeks to reshape American governance through efficiency and spending cuts, the balance between innovation and ethical governance will be crucial. The outcomes of the initiative will not only impact federal spending and operations but also set the stage for the broader political landscape and public trust in government. The next few years will be pivotal in determining whether the D.O.G.E initiative is seen as a transformative success or a cautionary tale in the annals of American governance.